Go.
Hi, John.
Hello, Jacob. How are you?
I'm okay.
It feels like we just talked a couple days ago.
I think we did.
So we are recording this on Thursday after the news of the what are we going to call it? A freeze, a postponement,
Postponement, I think.
postponement. So yeah, I guess we're just going to talk about. I believe you suggested we engage in wild speculation, which I thoroughly think is a wonderful idea at this point.
Yeah, first of all, I would say I realized immediately that the tournament would meet a bitter end the moment I saw that Tanya Sachdev was going to comment on Chess 24.
Why is that?
I think there's no limitations what people will go through from public safety. Okay, Tanya is a dear friend, and I'm
Yes,
just
I know
trolling.
she's attended some of your training camps for the Quality Chess Academy.
Yeah. I've and also with the Indian team,
Yes, of course.
and
You were the captain for the women's team, correct?
yes, I
Yes.
was.
So,
Um,
uh,
okay, so it was the postponement was inevitable since people basically had 24 to 36 hours to leave Russia. FIDE and the organizers immediately uh, got flights to Moscow, and then they hired a charter plane to take them to Rotterdam. And from there, the players can go to wherever in the world they need to go.
although
Um,
I don't know if you saw
this was
this.
clearly FIDE was very well prepared for this, and um, it's also clear that they knew that they had to handle um, publicity very much differently than they did with the opening ceremony, where I don't believe it was unsafe. I don't believe there are many people who are infected in Russia at the time. However, you would think that anyone who's infected in Russia has been someone who's traveling, and that's usually VPs, which you VIPs, which you invite to such a ceremony.
Correct.
So probably, but mainly it was bad taste, I think.
Hmm. So I wonder where we think things stand now for the players. I mean, we have
Well,
no way.
we know some things.
Okay.
First of all, we know that a lot of them really wanted to go home
Yes.
anyway. However, the condition for the tournament, and all the players agreed to it in advance, was that if you withdrew from the tournament, you were disqualified from the next cycle. So basically, your next attempt would be 2024. Um, I'm not sure that's well founded in FIDE rules.
I was going to ask you about that.
It would be it would be a very odd thing. Um, but okay, the players agreed to play, and the idea that somehow if you have a bad start you can go home and say coronavirus or something like this, it had to be addressed. So I think it was a pragmatic way to deal with it. I think once the players were there and already self-isolating, some of them for weeks, in order to play a tournament, it was very difficult. It was a very easy decision to end the tournament, but it was a very difficult decision earlier to start. Um, and yeah, so we can always speculate about all the reasons and so on, but for FIDE to not want to postpone the whole World Championship cycle is very understandable, because the challenger needs half a year before the match, and we need half a year preparation for many things before a match. And already, I think the candidates should actually be not on the same year as the match.
Yeah.
But, it's a big debate, all these things. Um, I think for FIDE it was very difficult. This is their main event beside the Olympiad, and the Olympiad. I knew that they were going to meet in April and decide finally on it, which is the only inside information I shall reveal. Um, and already, here in March, they delayed it. And the same they delayed it with the moment the Olympics were delayed. And they just realized there's no foundations on which federations can plan to go. And again, this is, we're basing a year that will be cancelled. The question will be with the Olympics 2021 if the next will be 2025.
Yeah, yeah. It's there are so many questions right now, and there is so much up in the air. I just saw a tweet from Caruana literally before we started talking that apparently his charter is not scheduled to depart until 4:50 in the morning, so he's wondering if he's even going to get out of the country. So these things are all changing moment by moment. By the time this video goes live, hopefully that is resolved. But in situations where there are no perfect solutions, you what is it from Frozen 2? You do the next right thing. And
oh, my girls are a bit too old. I know now I have 365 automatically in background, but otherwise, if I could turn that off, which I don't know how to, you would see Elsa on the wall behind me. But actually, we have not watched Frozen 2, and my girls are now too old for this stuff. But we did watch Frozen. But this house here, we just moved in and we haven't painted the walls and so on. So therefore, if that thing wasn't working, you would see Frozen in the background.
I can't attest to that, by the way.
You and many others have seen it, and it actually looks quite good. So it's well done.
So does it make sense to talk about victors for the first round and perhaps one moral victor?
Well, I think we need to talk about the logistics before we go into the conclusions and the predictions.
Okay.
So first of all, now the tournament will have to be rescheduled. Will it be in the same location? Is the first thing. Are the organizers willing to host it? I would think yes. And it would be very difficult for FIDE to find another organizer. Then the second question is when. If we look at China, I will make myself just as any random idiot on the internet. I would think we're looking at 8 to 10 weeks of strict lockdown.
Yeah.
But the question is, if enough countries are doing strict enough lockdown, we certainly in the UK were very slow on the ball, and we're still encouraged to go out for exercise once a day. Well, that was not the case in
China.
In China now, or in Italy as well. If you are tested positive and then subsequently go outside, you will be prosecuted for murder. So this is a big thing. And my phone here is beeping and saying, "Remember, you have Santana concert in 20 minutes." I don't. That's a shame, though.
Yeah.
No. So I think the tournament will take place. Maybe around the same time as the Olympiad would have taken place. Is prediction.
So that would be August, correct?
Yeah, August. Okay. Because already there are some. You have Bachelor's chess openings twice.
That's actually bad for chess endings.
It's Bachelor's chess endings. It's Spielman. That's a great book.
Yes. Okay. When I like a book, I pick up multiple copies. So. So you'll notice
that's what's keeping us afloat.
I'm doing my best. I just ordered the hardcover of the new calculation book. So
excellent.
Yes.
We actually did a lot of work on having this new updated version. Okay, there's a new chapter, some new exercise, and I think about 10 have been replaced, and many minor lines have been changed. I just want to stress: if you have the first book, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. It's like really obscure little details that's been fixed. A few exercises where I just felt wasn't really working as well as I wanted. But I didn't want to, it's not a new book. It's not a different book. You can keep the old one.
Yeah.
Not like Practical Chess Defense. That's out of print now. I think we're gone. We have 3 copies or something.
I have one sitting on the shelf back over there.
Yeah, it's worth $1 million.
We may be selling them soon for.
Okay, but no one cares.
Yeah. Anyway, so
I would guess somewhere like August, same location, because there are no other big tournaments scheduled for the same players at that time because they all plan to play the Olympiad. And then the match will probably still take place in Dubai. I don't know if FIDE has actually managed to secure a deal. And then there comes some legal things which might go to the what's called CAS in Switzerland, with regards to Rajabov, saying he should have a right to play. And this mess nobody should speculate on.
Yeah, it seems very tricky, and there are so many different competing arguments that have some merit. But how you resolve this, I have no idea.
I think Razbab, rather than withdrawing, he would have done better with trying to get a huge amount of the players to make a common action of saying this is not the right time to play. And from what we hear from the other players, he might have actually found some common ground with them. So I think by withdrawing, he sort of lost his chance. It's like you cannot complain to the arbiter after you resign the game. I think you're done.
That's as an outsider, that's my sense of it too. Is that once the event is started, it's you can't put the genie back in the bottle, and it would be unfair to all the other competitors to vacate or to undo the results of the first half.
Well, Magnus Carlsen was speculating that Rajabo wasn't maybe that keen on playing in the first instance anyway, and he had previously voiced uncertainty about whether or not he would play. His dreams of becoming world champion and so on are gone. He's not that active a player anymore. He's already incredibly rich. His father-in-law, sort of the richest man in Azerbaijan, if I understand it. So
good work if you can get it.
Yeah, well, his wife doesn't look like it's hard work, so let's say that way.
Got it.
So that probably could be cut out.
I will see what I can do.
No, I think it's fine. Yeah. So the first half, of course, Ding Liren is a total disaster. Lost 3 games. Only beat Caruana, who therefore also is disappointed and is on 50%. And if I remember the score correctly, we have 2 players on 4.5 points, and then we have a lot of players on 3.5.
Correct.
And the situation now is that if we imagine Ding Liren, or let's say Wang Hao, beat Nepomniachtchi with white, and Caruana beat MVL with white. Then already Caruana and Wang Hao is sharing the lead. So maybe with Nepomniachtchi in there, but still, because he hadn't, he would maybe lose it to Caruana on tiebreak. I don't know, but it's not over at all. And I think the Gristchuk play 7 draws.
Yes.
So he's probably the one who's furthest away, except Alexenko and Ding Liren is on 2.5, I think. And then we have MVL and Nepomniachtchi on 4.5, and Gristchuk, Caruana, Wang Hao, and come on, who's the last one?
Giri
on 3.5. So, okay, I think we have been where we have been for a while, which is the 3 favorites are Nepomniachtchi, MVL, and Caruana. Ding Liren cannot do it.
Yeah.
It's a +4. It's too much. It will be a miracle, and only Kayakin is coming back from that kind of scores. So I think we have those 3. But the thing is, with the tournament, players have come, shown their preparation, and now they have to go home and make new preparation. It will be a different tournament. It is a mess. Yeah.
But I mean, it seems to be par for the course in the way things are today. So why not let the chess world have a little bit of the excitement of trying to piece together everything on the fly, like the rest of the world is doing.
Well, it was, but as I know, there's still one tournament ongoing though, at the moment.
TCEC.
Yes.
I was going to ask you about this because one of the things that we're trying to think about at US Chess is what are we going to cover now? Because there's obviously lots to talk about in the chess world, and I mean, chess is built for online play. Um, so when I say what are we going to do now, I mean, are we? Someone was suggesting maybe that we try to finish this online somehow. That we get the players to somehow. This was on Twitter. It was some vague, eminent chess personality. I can't remember who, suggesting that we get the players to finish it online in a couple weeks. Um, that seems far fetched to me,
No.
but I suspect we're going to be seeing a lot more activity in online chess. Does that seem reasonable to you, or?
Well, for me, it would be quite obvious if St. Louis Chess Club took a lead on this and made some events for online, and maybe in collaboration with chess.com, who have the experience, or maybe just on their own,
Mm-hmm.
and did tournaments similar to the Pro Chess League and other things we see on chess.com, where people are sitting with the camera and basically you have this whole anti-cheating
Right.
team operating, and I would expect we will see some blitz and rapid tournaments.
Yeah. So U.S. Chess is actually, we just announced yesterday that we're going to start allowing our members to play rated games with two of our partners, with chess.com and with the Internet Chess Club, or chessclub.com. They're the two with whom we have partnerships. And so before, it was that there were just weekly events that were scheduled, where U.S. Chess members could go and play and get an online rating, an official U.S. Chess online rating. But they have opened it so that any tournament director or any affiliate, rather, can now do this. And the details are being rolled out in the next couple days. But talking about putting the genie back in the bottle, it's going to be very curious to see what this does to over the board play in a couple of years, if this becomes the norm as opposed to the thing we do while we're stuck inside.
Well, if with people who play much more online than I do and much better, they are saying that it's a weekly occurrence, that they get a message from the server, whichever server it is they're playing on. It says this and this player has been deemed to be computer cheating. You are now going to have point return. And we already know that computer cheating in over the board games is a huge problem. Like, we had an incident in Chicago where a player was cheating, and it was evident he was cheating, and the arbiter didn't know which tools he could use. He contacted FIDE, and FIDE's response was weak. In the end, all he did was he played in a different room, and then his cheating method, which was having a friend communicate the moves to him, was taken away from him. He's still a decent player, but he didn't manage to do as well without this. But it was only for the last game, and it was so evident he was cheating. And there's no response for this. And I know from friends who play in the US a lot that it is quite common for kids to go out to their parents who are sitting with computers and then go back. It's a very common thing in US tournaments.
Yeah.
So now if you take the people with apparently the same attitude, and I think often with kids it's because they want to reach a certain rating so it looks good on college application. I don't think it's funny. But
well, it's funny in a sad way. It's gallows humor.
No, but it's if all you're going to do with chess is use it to for something else, I can see why you don't care about it.
Yeah.
So I would think that having standard games rated, online games,
be very difficult. Yeah.
I predicted it would be. I personally think that it's not compatible with having the US rating being a qualifier for the US championships and for the Olympiad team.
Yeah,
and things like
the good thing is
that will be the natural thing of letting that fall away, even if the players that are up for qualification even haven't played online games. They will have played someone who have played online games, so the rating system is undermined.
So the good thing about that is that it's a completely separate rating. So we have a standard rating, a rapid rating, and a blitz rating, and then in the past few
So
years
it will
we've
be
added,
rapid and blitz will be
and then there's a separate online rapid and blitz. So players
okay.
can have up to five, well, six if you include correspondence chess.
Uh-huh.
So the good news is we're I think we've mitigated that particular problem, which you're right would be a tremendous problem for qualification for the Olympiad or for the U.S. Championship or even invitationals for juniors
Well,
going to.
U.S. Junior
Yeah,
Championship, very easy to imagine it,
yeah,
for
it would be
example.
terrible. But luckily, that's one thing that to my knowledge should not present a problem. Um, but it's a brave new world, so I mean things are changing every day, and one only
I
knows.
think in general that the USCF have a problem with the way it administrates having two different ratings in the system. I don't have any skin in the game. Like the people I care about either are not qualifying or are definitely qualifying. So it doesn't do me anything. But I think that it often has led to some confusing decisions.
You mean so a national rating and a FIDE rating, or
Yeah, where the fact is that because they're not they don't have the same dynamic. Like ideally, if you have a 2650 rating and is trying to get into the US Championship, um, you should not get a huge edge by having played well recently in US, for example, compared to having played well recently in Europe. The games are not affected in the same way, and so there's some issue there. But I've enough problems with politics in the
yeah?
trainers commission.
Well,
But
there.
with the FIDE candidates, yeah. I think everyone will look back at this as having been a disaster. A tournament once started and not completed is a very bad thing. And then especially if you have to try to restart it, I think the legitimacy of qualification is very much in doubt. Anyone can complain.
Yeah.
If let's say, for example, which could, as I said, was still likely that Caruana wins, and the other guys can say, well, we came prepared for this, we were ready to fight, and then we were leading, and then you took it away from us. And it's sort of the same mess they had after the 1984 match.
Yeah, that's I was going to say there are similarities there, but there's a bit of good news though. There's a silver lining if Twitter is to be believed.
Yes.
Christian Chirilla just reported that Kasparov might start streaming. That should be a show.
Oh. we'll see.
We'll see. Yes.
Yes, he's sometimes he's great and sometimes he's not. But
yeah.
But he is still the greatest.
I will not disagree with you with that.
So there's, for example, I was watching the Chess 24 coverage,
mm-hmm.
and to be honest, with so much muscle, chess muscle in there, it was not very good.
Huh. Okay.
So you have Carlsen and Gustafsson and let's say Nihazarin or Lawrence Trent. So mainly Gustafsson and Trent are starting to keep things going. And a lot of it was about, they started talking about Borat and LG show. And so on. And they were not managing to do the thing which was previously why you were watching the Chess 24 broadcast, which was investigating the games. And I have to say I'm a huge fan of Peter Svidler, and he was fantastic in 2018. And I was in Berlin for the tournament, and I actually followed most of it from the hotel room because we had Svidler there.
Yeah, he's outstanding.
And he's good at keeping things going on the chess. And yeah, I understand some people like this chat about the whatever TV series or whatever they've been watching, but I was there for the chess, and sometimes it's difficult when not much is going on the board.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the one thing that can be said in their defense is that sometimes the position when you only have 4 games, it can be tricky. But yeah, I definitely can see what you're saying, and
I should say that I think Lawrence Trent was the one who really tried to keep things going on the chess,
man,
and really deserves a lot of credit for that.
somewhat great.
He's really good. He's not the strongest guy there, but he's a good player.
When I was watching, he did see quite a few things that the other 3 were giving him a lot of credit for. So shout out to Lawrence Trent, my boy Lawrence Trent.
Love Lawrence.
Everyone is Lawrence Trent's boy apparently. So he'll be my boy too. So what are so do you have plans now? I mean, we were going to be doing another 7 rounds of coverage, and now that is out the window. So should we just find some TCEC
I will
games
finally watch Narcos Mexico. I will watch Twitcher. I will finish Altered Carbon season 2, and that kind of thing. Excellent. No, actually, I'll finish the Boris Gelfand book.
Well, that's a definite silver lining.
I've been a little bit on hold the last week with doing these games where, I promised you to do something short and so on, and then I thought, well, people want to know this.
I will say, for anyone who is watching this, please go to uschess.org and go back and look at these annotations. Jacob, you did an outstanding job, and I'm not just saying that because I'm talking to you. I'm as a chess fan and someone who likes to read very extensive analysis. It was outstanding. So thank you so much for that.
We will not forget to send an invoice.
I understand.
I think for anyone who is watching at this stage, which probably no one.
You'd be surprised. I've got.
I will be surprised. Yes.
Yeah, but yeah, we should definitely cut it here and stop taking up your day. So, Jacob, again, thank you so much. It has been a real pleasure to get to do this with you, and hopefully we can
see you for the sequel.
Yes, bye-bye. and at 365 Chess Academy.
Absolutely.
All right.
Right there.
There you go.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye.